What does it mean to be patient when I have so many things that I want to do and so many achievements that I have not yet reached? So, you're saying I should just let life pass me by? Can waiting around for something to happen really do for any good? I mean, isn't that what patience is? Waiting and hoping for something to happen? They do say that great things come to those who wait, but in my experience, it feels like great things come to those who chase. What's the point of patience anyway? By the end of this video, you're going to fully understand the purpose of being patient and how it can help you on your journey to fulfillment. So, grab yourself a cup of tea, stay tuned, and let's talk about it. Hello, Howell family. I'm your host, HC. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Tea with HC, where we talk about issues that concern you on your journey to being true to you. In this episode, we are discussing the purpose of patience. It seems we are always being told to be patient whenever we desire for something great of life. We are told to wait for bad times to subside. We are told to be patient and we will meet someone to love, and even to wait for the right time to take action. But what's the point? Patience can be acknowledged as bearing or enduring a situation or difficulty with calmness, in absolute certainty of your ability to contest the said situation when the time does come. It therefore does not imply to wait in inaction for something to happen. Rather, it can be understood as being cognizant of the challenges in your current reality versus your ability to mature and get a proper footing to assume those battles. Always remember, the pain, difficulty, or discomfort that you feel right now is nothing compared to the joy that you will feel when you do succeed. This success cannot be fully assumed without a level of patience. Consider that no matter how impatient and eager you become, you cannot chase time. For example, let's say you're a 16-year-old aspiring junior baseball player, and in order to be admissible in the juvenile baseball league, you must at least be 18 years old. Then, to be patient does not mean to sit still and anxiously wait in frustration for the 2 years to run out. Rather, it means to assume your reality by working towards your choices. Therefore, encouraging you to acknowledge the situation that you are facing and advance constructively towards that reality in a focused, calm, and collected, yet determined manner, so that when the 2 years does come, you will be the perfect candidate to enter the juvenile league. With a patient and unrushed demeanor, you can think of constructive ways to spend your time, such as requesting to practice with the juvenile team so that you can learn their drills, and getting to know the juvenile players so that you can understand the mentality necessary to be a champion at that level. With a patient mind, these considerations are made possible because you are mentally preparing for your time to come, as opposed to using that very same time and energy being impatient, which would just leave you feeling rushed, annoyed, and hopeless, and ultimately being unproductive. An impatient person would conduct themselves in a frustrated manner because of the fact that they aren't receiving what they think that they should when they think that they should receive it. That impatient person is likely to have a mind clouded by defeat and anxiety, blocking the potential blessings available in the current day. With this simple example, we can begin to accept how, in many ways, a bit of patience can shift your life direction. I'll show you how being patient can encourage a life that is true to you by encouraging long-term focus and balance, building character, helping you appreciate time, and by revealing truths hidden in plain sight. And hopefully, this green tea stays warm. First, patience encourages long-term focus and balance. As the saying suggests, hindsight is 20/20. We often don't understand or appreciate the offerings of the moment because we are so focused on what we feel is to come. This insatiate thirst for the future of who we are, or the future of what we are to achieve, diminishes our lived experience and consequently hinders our ability to take full advantage of the blessings that we are presented with in the present day. Patience helps with long-term goals because it is the recognition that although there is much more to come, current reality is just as impactful to life's journey as the future results that we seek. With this added insight, you are able to appreciate the time needed to accomplish your goals, all while keeping your focus on the end goal. In contrast, an impatient person is stuck in the mentality that nothing is important but the end goal, and thus consequently ignores the many things going on in their day-to-day life that may be key instruments to the success of those very long-term goals that they seek. For example, let's say you have the long-term goal of being a successful entrepreneur, to be married with someone that is meant for you, have kids, and have a great circle of friends. Impatience will encourage working tirelessly and avoiding time spent with anyone at all, without considering that rest and leisure play an important part in your growth as a person. Because of this, although you may end up achieving some success business-wise, you are handicapped in other areas of life. Since you never took any leisure time or rest, you now feel lonelier than ever. You inadvertently ignored all of the friends and relationships opportunities on the way because of this very impatience. On the other hand, patience would encourage a balance, thus relieving you of the aforementioned self-imposed stress, as well as encouraging the appreciation of every moment and every blessing presented to you on your journey forward. Patience is thus the zenith of belief in yourself, because it is the confidence to use the variety of ingredients offered by life to achieve your most suited life recipe. Always remember, slow and steady wins the race, because this race is not for the swift, but for those that can endure. Second, patience builds character. To understand how patience builds character, you need to understand how impatience is the antecedent of a person of great character. Impatience means that you do not appreciate what is now, and you quickly want to get to what is not. Impatience is refusing to acknowledge that every moment alive is a gift and a blessing that should be appreciated. It is therefore the ignorance and the discrediting of all that is being presented to you on your life journey in the desire for something that is not currently yours. Impatience is a sense of entitlement, believing that you should have something at a specific time despite the lack of awareness of what your future holds and why what you are facing right now is exactly what is needed to achieve the future that you long for. A patient person listens and thinks things through, as opposed to reacting in eagerness and emotion, and thus likely with lack of wholly understanding and appreciation of the situations at hand. Patience helps to uncover opportunities within time spent, as opposed to a rushed mental state where everything in life is a means to an end. For example, simple things such as maybe your commute to work. Let's say it takes you 40 minutes to get to work by public bus. Instead of having those 40 minutes be something that you dread impatiently, thinking about the concerns of your workplace, you could use that time constructively and allow that moment to be as significant to your life as the destination. Those 40 minutes could turn into the 40 minutes you spend a day for brain exercise games. It could be 40 minutes spent towards learning a new language every day. And it could be 40 minutes that you use to rest your mind as well, as you ready yourself for the day ahead. As you can see with this example, an impatient person would be using the very same energy and time to stress and be anxious about what is to come, while patience helps you further discover life and explore the potential of your betterment on the journey of you becoming your best you. Third, patience helps you appreciate time. Consider that in an impatient state of being, you always have to go. You therefore have no time to appreciate, respect, or even acknowledge situations before attempting to jump to the next one, which is the perfect recipe for regret. Simply put, it's like rushing out of your house instead of taking your time to think about what you need for your time outside. When you rush, you are likely to forget something, while if you take your time, you are likely to consider all things before making your next move. In this context, patience is a state of mind. It means to unrush yourself and allow yourself to be in a calm mental state. Patience is giving yourself the needed time to be who you are, because on the road of becoming the best version of you, time is the only currency that you can really have. With time, you can refine your skills, acquire more wisdom, and strengthen your offer to the world. For example, let's say you're a singer and you want to sign a record deal. If you present yourself without any accolades, then the bargain is in their favor because you have no leverage. However, with patience, the more you spend time mastering your craft, doing shows on your own, and building your brand, when the labels come around again, you have much more bargaining power. Always remember, nothing in the world is more powerful than an idea whose time has come. Therefore, it is important to continue building in order to accomplish your truth. The universe is not in a hurry. You are. It's why you're tired. It's why you're anxious, stressed, and disappointed. Trust that what is meant to be yours cannot pass you, and unrush yourself, because on this journey to being true to you, time is only your enemy if you make it so. Finally, patience reveals truths. An impatient person is always rushing and anxious for results. Thus, an impatient person cannot appreciate someone for who they are, in all of their complexity, and will therefore, most probably, live their lives encumbered in a thrall of shallow relationships. An impatient person wants the answers to all of their questions without the process that it takes to actually realize those truths. For example, when in a relationship and you feel in your gut that something is off about a person, patience would give you the time to recognize patterns in behavior and create a sure course of action, while, on the other hand, impatience will encourage an impromptu reaction that may lead to unwarranted and potentially baseless accusations and claims. With patience, you have the opportunity to notice negative traits and red flags by taking the time to understand the messages your gut is trying to convey in relation to the situations you are facing. With this added insight, you are able to discern the difference between the potential that you imagine and the actual character of the person in question, and thus make better decisions about people. Sometimes we are so in love with who we want a person to be that we don't take the time to actually learn and appreciate who they actually are. Patience is the perfect elixir for confusion in those regards, because, as they say, time reveals all truths. To put it all together, we can now assess that patience has a significant purpose in your life by encouraging long-term focus and balance, building character, helping you appreciate time, and by revealing truths often hidden in plain sight. We can now clearly see that patience not only has a purpose, but is a necessary element to having a fulfilled and successful life. What do you think about patience? I would love to read your comments as I finish this cup of tea, so please comment below, like this channel, and consider subscribing to our channel if you haven't already. That's it for today's episode of Tea with HC, Howell family. Hope this helped you appreciate patience from a different perspective. I'll see you here next time on Howell Consultations, the how-to being true to you.